And Mayor Bill McLeod, and I'm here with Trustee Mike Gata for another edition of the Heart of Hoffman Estates, where we go out into the community and talk with organizations that do good work in our community, and want to hear a little bit about them and what they do and what they contribute to the betterment of our great village and great area. We'll start with Amanda.
I'm Amanda Kolakowski, and I am the Support Services Manager at the Center for Enriched Living.
And I'm Michael Welsh. I'm the Outreach Supervisor. So my job is really to meet with all of our new members and get all that good information initially.
And I'm Mark Ingram, and I am the Employment Opportunities Manager for the Center for Enriched Living, and I help our individuals get jobs and support them in their jobs and help them to be successful.
And I'm Jean Morelli. I'm the manager of the day program, so that is for adults that are 22 and up and out of the school system.
Okay, we are here at the Center for Enriched Living, and I think we'd like to get a little bit of the history of what does the Center for Enriched Living do, how long you've been around, and what are the numbers of people you serve, and how do you serve them?
Sure. So we started back in 1968. Two parents came to a social worker at a local community center looking for things to do for their kids after school. Fast forward time into 1984, the center became its own organization. We then served about 60 people with developmental and intellectual disabilities. And fast forward until today, where we serve over 450 members overall. To kind of backtrack a little bit, so REACH started about 10 years ago, REACH, our adult day program. And then in September of 2017, our day program started here in Hoffman Estates.
So how did you come to be located in Hoffman Estates also? It started Riverwoods, which is not that far away, but is a piece down the road, so to speak.
Yeah.
We have actually a couple families that from this location were coming to our Riverwoods location. They had gotten together with several different families and approached us and asked if we could come out this way, that there was a need for programming for adults. After about 2 years of research and looking for places and working with families, we found the location of the church. And we started here in September 26, 2016. So.
And Church of the Cross has always been very involved in doing good works for the people in the area, and so I'm not surprised to find that you ended up here, because that's the type of thing I do. So what are all the services you provide here for
So
people?
like I said earlier, we have over 450 members overall. We have the adult day program that Jean runs. We have the employment services that Mark runs. And we also have social and recreation things going on pretty much every day of the week, Monday through Friday in the evenings, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday as well.
Is there any charge for any of these things that you do? A fee, I should say?
There is. For the adult day program, it's about $85 a day. For Mark's employment services, it's $60 for 90 minutes. I always miss those two, 60 and 90. So I have to think about that one. And it is private pay, but that allows us a lot of flexibility as far as how we run our programming.
What if an individual can't afford to pay?
Yeah, and
Then what happens?
We definitely have scholarship available for any family that requests that extra support.
Oh, okay.
And we are privately funded. We don't receive any funding from the government, state, anything. So we are strictly run off of grants, fundraising, and the fees from our participants. So.
And actually, only 33% of our $3.7 million budget comes from our membership fees. So we do rely a lot on the community and fundraising and our donations and grants to support all of our different programs.
That's great.
Yeah.
How many people, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
How many people are enrolled now?
Over 450 overall. In Hoffman Estates, we have 10, and we average about 7 a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And growing.
We are
Definitely
growing,
growing.
correct, yes.
Yeah.
And we're going out, spreading the word. Today we're meeting with the Schaumburg Library, and then we're working with District 2, is it 211?
211,
Yeah.
220,
yes.
and 214. We'll be going to a resource fair next Tuesday. Yep.
Did you say earlier, though, that it's strictly adults out of high school?
So for the Reach Day program that is here Monday through Friday, it is adults 22 and up and out of the school system.
Okay.
Because the day before they turn 22, there's no more funding from the state for school for the adults. So they have nowhere to go. Either they jobs if parents will let them and if they can find them out in the community. So they want a meaningful day. They want to go out just like you and I do and make a difference, whether it's volunteering to them, whether it's learning a new recipe that they can make at home, learning about health and nutrition, going out and working in sports fitness places. So we try and tie all of that together for them. When they come into our program, they kind of tell us their hopes and dreams, and we try and put that all into place, whether it's making a new friend or getting a job out in the community or just volunteering somewhere. So trying to make all those connections and make it all happen for them.
Excellent, excellent.
That's sort of a glitch in the state where when someone turns 22, they just sort of have a nice life, seems to be the attitude of the
Absolutely.
state government, which is just horrible.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
It depends, if you're fortunate, you have your family doing well, can they,
Mm-hmm.
take care of you, can you link up with Clearbrook or somewhere like Center for Enriched Living where you can find a job? I mean, it's a lot better than it used to be, there's no doubt about it, but there's still a lot of need out there that
Mm-hmm.
really isn't being met. So if someone wanted to help your organization, contribute money, can people volunteer? Do you have things that people can do that don't require the expertise that you folks have, where they could actually have a volunteer
Mhm.
opportunity?
Yeah, so we do have a lot of individuals who come to us looking to volunteer. We are always very happy to have people come in and volunteer with us. They can help in a variety of different ways, whether it's with our programs or even helping and volunteering, doing office work and things along those lines. We have right now about 200 volunteers a year. Those do come and go. On average, we have about 40 individuals who come during each of our sessions. And one of the great programs here for Reach Northwest is being able to have volunteers come in and help with the activities, the volunteering, getting to know the members, and being active in the community with the members as well.
Great. Do you have any fundraisers coming up that you'd like to let people know about?
Our biggest fundraiser is coming up on May 6th. We do a chef's night out at the Marriott Lincolnshire, and it's $90, and you pretty much have access to 38 different restaurants, food, samples of different foods.
And drinks.
And drinks, yes. We do beer and wine.
I think Tito's is there this year.
And then we do live auction then, and a lot of the live auction money that's raised for that goes to our scholarship program. So it helps offset all the costs for our different programs. With that, we also have we have the Mustang.
Yes.
We have raffle tickets for a Mustang. So you can either take the car or you can take $30,000 in cash. Both those tickets for those things can be bought on our website. And then in September, we have our annual golf outing. Those are our two big fundraisers.
Okay. You mentioned the scholarship program. You want to explain a little bit about that?
So it's based off household income. Pretty much anyone who applies for scholarship will get some for all of our programs, and it cuts down our program cost immensely, depending on how much, again, household income is, but it substantially helps pay for a lot of our program fees for our families.
Well, I think our goal with the scholarship program is that we really don't want anybody to feel like they can't come. It's kind of like what you were talking about when the 22 ends and the state doesn't really kick things in. One of our main goals is to make sure that everybody has something to do if they come to us and say, we really want to join in Jean's programs or the employment program or after-school programs, that we want to make sure that they can have something to do and that they're not just sitting at home. So we will work with the family with the scholarships and make sure that they're able to participate.
So do you find a lot of employers out here are willing to hire someone who has some challenges? You've had any luck with that?
That has probably been one of our biggest challenges, is normal looking for a job does not work for our individuals. Going online, filling out applications, sending in their resumes, none of that really works for our individuals. Because if you look at their resumes, they won't even make it through the first cut when these people are looking at their resumes. So it's a matter of who do people know and who can open the doors for us to at least get us to come in and say, first, open the door, to have an individual come in and take a look at the job. And then second, look outside the box of the job description. and say, what is it that we can do? And through networking, I use one of a company out of Northbrook that just reached out to us, and they heard about us through a networking process and brought us in and said, okay, we have all these teachers, but they don't like to do certain aspects of their job. And can we bring somebody in to do those avenues of jobs? So we're working with them to create a job description. We have 2 individuals that are going through the full interview process, application, all that stuff. And they're gonna work there 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. Just kind of come in and clean up tables, take out garbage, resupply the classrooms with the things that they need.
Right.
But those are the kind of things, if we can connect up with jobs, if they'll just sit down and talk to us, it's not a matter of a 40-hour job. Most of our individuals can't do 40 hours, but what can we do to come in and kind of alleviate some tasks that you just don't have enough time to do? Somebody's doing it, has to make the time to do it, but we can bring somebody in and kind of do that so they can move on and do something else. It's just a matter of getting the doors open for us to come in and talk to somebody.
So you have to be innovative in finding employment for.
Yes,
Yes, you do.
yes.
And that's one of the things I think we've been focusing on too, at least I know Mark has been, is really not just training our potential employees, but our potential employers as well. So kind of being innovative in that regard on 2 fronts.
Well, that's good, because we have a lot of people with challenges, and what are they gonna do for the rest of their lives? And
Mhm.
we wanna give them something meaningful to do, just
Yeah.
rewarding to them. They can
Right.
make some money, which is very good.
Yeah.
I appreciate your efforts on this. So this was two ladies who talked to a social worker and said, what can we do? How
Yeah.
can we get some help?
Particularly for after school. So I mean, and to think of the genesis from after school until now. But yeah, they talked to a social worker. Her name was Lynn Albanese, who is our founding executive director. And what became of it was just a growth of programs over time. So obviously the need was there, and the people were there. They were looking for things to do, something meaningful to do throughout their day, and
And
that's
they wanted to
kind
be,
of the
they
center.
wanted to be included,
Yeah.
just like everyone else.
Right.
Who wants to sit and watch from the sidelines? So how do I get, how did they get their sons and daughters involved in being included with everyone else?
Mhm.
So.
And one of the original founders' son continues to come to our Friday night program. So they're still involved with the center.
What sort of facilities do you have here in the Church of the Cross?
We have full access. Well, we share first of all, we share the building throughout the week. We are here strictly, we have it Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. And with that, we have full access. So there's a full-size gym that we use. There's also a kitchen for cooking. And the nice thing is we just got a new stove, so we're actually able to do stovetop cooking. They love that. We have access to the back patio yard. We have access to this room, which becomes a multi-purpose room, so it could be a meeting room for families, to host meetings, things like these as well. A separate space for members to get away if they need quiet space, because sometimes you need to get away from people. The noise sometimes can be too loud. We also have a sensory room that we set up in one of the classrooms, so that's another quiet space if someone needs tactile stim, just to lay down, to crash, to rock. People with autism, that's very important. Lights can be off, we can draw the blinds. We also have a huge lounge area. And back there we do games, anything from video games to board games to arts to craft. But we're also out in the community 70% of the time looking for volunteer opportunities. One of the nice things is we've partnered with the Hoffman Estates Police Department. On Thursdays, there's another group that's here in the morning, so we can't get in the building until 12:30. But the police department has offered their space up for us, so we are actually over there in the morning. We start our day there from
Right.
10 to 12:30. So that's really was a nice little partnership, and they've done some training for us. But we're out volunteering at local shelters, food pantries, things like that.
So obviously you have a relationship with the local schools,
Mm-hmm.
the local colleges and that,
Yes.
where you probably find some of your clients, I would imagine.
We do find, we've gotten quite a few from the Hoffman Estates transition program, Kirk School, all of the 214, 211.
We're working on getting
Yes.
into Barrington. I think one of the things we do really well is getting a lot of that information from someone. So that involves going to the school, meeting with the teachers, potentially going to IEP meetings, things like that. So we develop a lot of relationships with local schools.
We want the transition for our young adults. You know, their life is so structured and scheduled at school, and then, like we said, the door drops out. But we want them to have a smooth transition into a new place. It's all new faces. They've been going to these schools for, 22 years, and now all of a sudden, I'm meeting new friends. I'm meeting new staff and a new space, and to get accustomed to that. So we really work closely with the schools to make those transitions easier for our young adults.
And I think with the transition too, one thing that we have at the Riverwoods location is the after-school program. That some of the individuals, they'll finish up school and they'll come over and hang out there from 3 to 6.
Yes.
And so that program is being transitioned over to this location too. So right now it's on Wednesday nights.
Correct.
And so that gives a really good transition for some of these kids as they get used to what Jean's program does over here, and then they can transition really nicely into the day program.
Okay, so you get them in here before they turn 22, so they get an idea what
Yes.
you do here, what they can do here.
And we do satellite programs within schools as well. Right now, mainly Stevenson, but looking to expand that as well, so that you can do the programming at the school, and then they get exposed to the center as well through that way.
Excellent.
Excellent is correct.
When you do this job training or trying to get people to be interviewed by an employer, how do you help them get ready for that? What do you do? How do you coach them?
Well, we start off with, we use the customized employment approach. So we really learn and spend some time with the individual to find out what it is that they would really like to do, what their interests are. We bring family members in, staff members in, people that know them. Really try to find a job that will match their needs and desires. We'll even bring in some people that will just have some different ideas for us that they may not know, but could just help us reach out a little bit. And then we kind of determine where it is that they are in the process of what they need to know to do that job. So we have full training programs on anything from starting from this is how you create an interview, or how you create a resume, what the difference between a job and a volunteer job is, create the resume, look online for the jobs, find jobs that you'd like to do, apply for those jobs, and then we coach them on interviewing, working on the skills that they'll need to do. And then once they go in for the interview, and it's up to them whether we sit with them in the interview or not, we'll go through the interview with them. If they are hired at that job, then as job coaches, we will also work with them, go through the same training process they go through, so we know how to support them in that job. And then as they're going along, we back out and let natural supports take over, so let other people they're working with kind of be their little coaches, give them ideas of what they need to do if they get off a task. If they need us to come back, the employer would call us and just say, Johnny's having a little bit of a hard time, can you come back in and give us some help with this? Or Johnny has mastered these skills and we would like to give him more things to do, can you come back in and help? We come back in and do all that thing, and none of that costs the company any money. We just come in and make sure that that person's successful through their process.
So you really customize it for each individual. That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work, but the result is, instead of just saying, doing a typical grocery store or fast food thing, really sitting down with somebody, really getting to know what they want to do, and getting a passion that they want, that they would really like to work on. It's something then, once we go in and work with them, that they will grow with that job then. And they will love that job, that's a job that they will want to stay in and work towards even promotions in.
Well, that's the reward of getting what you do, to see someone
Yes.
who had challenges,
Yes,
get a job, be good at it,
right.
stay with it, and hopefully get promoted. That's a great success story.
I think our average right now for of the people that have been employed, they're running around 200 days on the job. So we're having a
Wow.
pretty good success record, and this month we're placing 4 more people in jobs. So we're moving along. It's a long process to really connect up people and really get people's doors open. But kind of once it happens, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch somebody. I worked with somebody at their first time at a dentist office yesterday. It was their first day there, and it was just fun to watch the person glow and be really excited about this new opportunity that they have.
I think we all remember our first job and what a feeling of accomplishment it was,
Yeah,
just to be working.
yeah. The whole other side of the employment side of it is the transportation, and that is one of the challenges in general with transportation. Most of our probably 50-50 now for employment, rely on either family members to get them there or the PACE transportation route. Actually, the lady I met with yesterday, she's going to rely on Uber because she's only 7 minutes away from her job. So she's going to use Uber. But that becomes a little bit more of a challenge because PACE is not the most reliable source of transportation for our individuals. So we work really hard to work with the employer. And Katie's another example of that too, is she had an issue with PACE and they weren't going to get her on time. And she's like, I have a job. I need to be there on time. So she called a cab and spent quite a bit of money to make sure that she was at work on time. Because that's the one thing about a benefit of hiring a person with a disability is they understand they need to be there at work. And they will give 120%, and they will not call in unless they're really sick, but they make the determination as to whatever it takes to get there. And we've had some call us and say, my PACE isn't showing up, what do I do? And we jump into our car, we go get them, and we bring them to work and make sure that they're there.
Yeah, transportation in the suburban areas, challenge the suburbs weren't really designed for the classic transportation system, so it's gotten incrementally better, but it still has a long ways to go.
Yes, it does. I do know that PACE is trying to work on that, and they've done different surveys and are trying to come up with plans to do that. It's just that they see, sometimes they don't understand the job versus going to just a social recreation thing. And the job's a job, and we rely on them to get them there on time. Or pick them up on time too, so.
And the nice thing here for our program is a lot of our participants for the day program here, they utilize the township transportation.
Okay.
So we have the township bus that brings them back and forth to program. So parents don't have to, and that also gives them a sense of independence.
Sure.
You know, I don't need to depend on mom and dad to get to where I want to go in my program. So we're very thankful for the township transportation. Like, you should talk a little bit about Katie and her little.
Yeah, we have an individual that approached us about 2 years ago, and she found us on the internet. She's had connections with the center, but she's been working with a couple of other agencies that really couldn't find her a job. She has CP, she's wheelchair bound, really only has the use of her left hand, and her dream job was to have a receptionist job. And we've taken her on interviews, and she needs accommodations, and most companies don't want to do the accommodations. And so we actually had a job that opened up, and a receptionist part-time job. So she applied for the job. She did the interview. We did try to support her in the interview. She did not need us. She handled it very well. Was hired. She's been there since August. We got her a couple of accommodations. Got her a phone headset. Got her the big print phone lists, pictures of all the staff so she'd know how to greet everybody when they come in. She is the ray of sunshine. If you walk into the Riverwoods thing, she is just glowing. She says hello to every single person by name, both staff, parents, individuals that walk in, members that walk in there. Her second dream was to save up enough money to go on a vacation to Savannah, and she just got back last Saturday from her 4-day trip in Savannah. And she's just somebody that just doesn't let her disability dictate how she's going to operate.
Good for her.
Yeah, so she's wonderful.
Well, good for her and good for you guys, right?
Yeah, we really
Supporting
like
her along the way. And so she knows she has that support from you, right? In addition to her own abilities, right? And
Yes.
desires. That to me, I see it as a combination.
Yeah.
It's a combination, right? And you do. Marvelous job. Thank you. All of you for what you do.
Well, thank you.
So we do have openings for staffing here at the Hoffman Estates location. Right now we have 1 to 2 positions. It's a great position because it is part-time. It fits really well into the school hours, so that 9:30 to about 3:30. It's a Monday through Friday position. So again, we have 1 to 2 of those, and also we're looking for more volunteers for here. Volunteering at this location, both of our locations, is a great way to get involved, to learn more about the center, and we're really adaptable to the volunteers' needs and their time as well. So a volunteer can pick to come 1 or 2 days a week. We have some volunteers that come 4 or 5 days a week. To our Riverwoods location, and we'd love to build that up here as well. Again, you get to go out in the community with the members. You're helping the members, getting to know them, and a lot of times volunteers find it more very rewarding because they're able to spend more of that one-on-one time with individuals and really get to know them, help them do activities, the volunteering in arts and crafts, cooking, and all of that. The volunteers, they really become part of the family at CEL, and we absolutely love all the volunteers that we have, and we'd love to have more here as well.
I want to thank the folks at the Center for Enriched Living for allowing us to come out and speak with them about the services they provide. Trustee Gata and myself, was very, very enlightening.
Yes.
I didn't really realize you were here, to be frank about it, so. And I'm the mayor, I should know these things. But I think a lot of these great organizations sort of fly under the radar screen for a lot of people, and that's somewhat the purpose of this program, to get people more aware of what actually is available here and how you can get assistance no matter what sort of situation you may be in. So if someone wanted to contact you, how did they get a hold of you?
You can fill out an info form at centerforenrichedliving.org, or you can give me a phone call. My direct line is 847-315-9920, or you can email me at michael.w@centerforenrichedliving.org. It's about the longest domain name you'll ever see.
So you guys are located at 475 West Higgins
Correct.
in the Church of the Cross complex.
Yes.
It's right next to the Hoffman Estates Police Building, just west of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just four and a half blocks, basically, west of Roselle Road, so.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to find, plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking.
Yes.